can see her creeping down the billboard. Ooh, that's when I think about you. I don't want to go downtown. That's what I used to. I'm another round. Dipping in loose screw. They can't mess with me. They can't mess with me at all. What in the world, Bo? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Woo! Yes, sir. The deed is done. The deed is done. I don't know where Coach Ronnie is right now. Coach Ronnie somewhere in the house, probably doing her own little jig. But it's supposed to be a post-game show. Unfortunately, well, no, fortunately, it's something completely different. The Atlanta Falcons have just announced. The Atlanta Falcons have just announced Raheem Morris has been relieved of his duties. So, with that being said, what in the world, both everybody out there that don't know me? My name is Big Old Country. Just old country boy from football coach. Love to sit around and talk about sports. If you don't know, my wife, Coach Ronnie, has been a huge.
They fired Terry Fontenot too.
What?
Terry Fontenot's going to.
They fired Terry Fontenot?
Yeah.
Big Head Terry, they fired Terry too?
Fired Terry.
No. Okay, so I'm just getting news as we're going. Coach Ronnie just came in here and told me they done fired Terry Fontenot too. They starting all over. They starting it all over. They starting it all over. They clean the house. And you know what? I'll let your body decide. Is it good enough for you? Already folded them for you. Already folded them for you. Come pick up your clothes. I have them folded. Meet me at the door while it's still open. I know it's. Look at him. They need to go ahead and do what they need to do. Look, Terry Fontenot, shouts out to Terry. Terry is a friend of the family. In all seriousness, Terry's a friend of the family. Great people, great person. He really got a chance to expand his career. He brought a whole lot of talent to this Atlanta Falcons team. But sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes people are collateral damage. I hate to say it. Sometimes people are collateral damage. And it's one of those situations where coming into the season, coming to the end of the season, everybody was saying, hey, we're ending the season on a 4 or 5 game winning streak. It's looking like Raheem Morris may have saved his job. This game that we had today against the New Orleans Saints, to all the Saints fans that's out there, shouts out to you. Thank you so much for that win today and letting us end the season off on a positive note. But the game that we had today, whenever the Saints were completely dismantled, they didn't have a whole lot of talent, especially offensively. We almost lost the game, right? We almost lost the game. And it's one of those situations where whenever you're in cases like that, you shouldn't be winning 17-19. You shouldn't be winning 17-19. Raheem Morris has made way too many bad decisions, personnel-wise and on the field. And I don't know if y'all remember, I said this before the season started, that what we're going to do is we're going to not play in the preseason. And then whenever it comes to the point where the actual season starts, the season ends, we're going to be 1 game out of the playoffs, and I'll be doggone John Brown. That's what it was. We ended up 1 game out of the playoffs, 3-way tie for first place. Panthers are going, they're breaking their streak. They're going to the playoffs, all courtesy of us. So shouts out to the Panthers fans out there. But moving forward, it's one of those cases where we finally, and shouts out to Carrie, Coach Carrie. She actually called me and Coach Ronnie while we were sitting here chilling. We were watching the beginning of the Ravens and Steelers game, And she said that she said, yeah, you're right, Charlie. They just fired him. So with that being said, you got to look at the past before you look at the future. So, and the crazy thing is, guys, is that it was one of those situations. I was wondering, I was going to talk about what should we do, but the Falcons, they've already resolved that. And the crazy thing is, it's not even 9 o'clock. Last time they fired Arthur Smith, it was what? It was like 12:01. It's not even 9 o'clock. I mean, they already had it in their mind what they were going to do. We got a couple Superman chats. Shouts out to my homeboy Willie Doc. Willie Doc, I hope you're doing good, brother. Hope you had a happy new year. He says, wow, I can't believe it, Coach Lowe. Is Arthur Blank now serious about winning? Please keep Uber as a consultant at least. Good job. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Also, everybody's watching. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Also, if this is your first time chilling out with us, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. We do things a little differently over here. This isn't your average type of show. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss us in the future. Also, Webb Fiji, he says, best day in Atlanta since the 2016 championship, NFC championship. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Dang, go. And that's sad. That's sad that when it comes to firing somebody, it's one of the best days in our recent history. Sanchez, he says, Big Low, praise the Lord. Well, praise the Lord. He listened to all my prayers. We up, Bo. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Excuse me. Yes, we up. We in there like swimwear. You already know it. So let me shout out everybody that came in on Chill Out with us. Down South Georgia boy says, what in the world, Bo? Undercover Shiesty. Ron says, Terry gone too. Dang, gone. Sturdy said, we can't. Can y'all see me? Am I John Cena-ing over here? Can y'all see me? Y'all let me know. If you can see me, put a one in the chat. Nick says, what did I walk into, Big Low? What in the world, Bo? It's finally happened. Jay in the truck says, I guess he found a way to get fired. Yes. And like I said, a truck might says, pull up, drink. Headshot, drink. Yeah. Jay says, won't he do it? What in the world, Bo? Playoffs? Yes. I guess maybe the front office and the ownership, they looked around and they said, hey, it's one of them situations where the Carolina Panthers are going to the playoffs with the 8-9 schedule. I mean, with the 8-9 record. Why are we shutting the bins down for the rest of the season? We lost to the Jets. We lost to the Panthers twice. We got swept by the Panthers. That's what I'm saying. The fact of the matter is that the reason why the Panthers are in the playoffs are because of us. 1/4 of their wins came from us. They lost the game to put them in the playoffs. We won the game to put them in the playoffs. It's because of us. In the words of Neo, and it's all because of you, it's all because of us. Ron says, Terry didn't. He didn't. He didn't. You right. I hate to see that Terry. I hate to see that Terry left. Terry's gone. Salary here says, woohoo. So I want to ask. I want to ask y'all. I know we talked about this ad nauseum, right? And I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, maybe, just maybe, and I'm not saying that we have more power than we do, but maybe whenever we had the post game report after the game, and I said, hey, y'all let me know. Do you feel like we need to keep Raheem Morris? Put a 1, or if you feel like we need to let him go, put a 2. It was an overwhelming amount of 1s compared to the 2s. And the fact of the matter is that's just not on here on this channel. That's not just on the Big Low Country platform. All over the internet space, all over the bins. So many people told me before we left, and whenever we gave our hugs and our goodbyes and everything like that, everybody was asking, "Are you coming back next year?" So many people said, "I don't know. It depends on if Raheem Morris is coming back." I have a friend that works in the front office that told me that they had like a 60% retention rate as far as like people coming back already. They said they got almost 1,000 calls saying that, look, if y'all bring Raheem Morris back next year, I'm not coming back. So think about it. If you get 1,000 calls, that's the people that's upset enough to express how they feel about it. If you get 1,000 calls, let's say those it's 2 seats per person. A lot of people have 4 seats, 5 seats. Some people just have one. But let's say that's averaging 2 seats per person. That's 2,000 people right there. Bro, that's just the people who are angry enough to express it. And unfortunately, Raheem Morris put himself in this situation. You hired 2 inexperienced coordinators, and you were so hard headed about how you were going to approach it. You rolled with Jimmy Lake until the end of the season. You rolled with Zach Robinson until the end of this season. It got to the point where people were like, "Hey, why are we doing what we're doing?" The national pundits are saying, "Hey, this doesn't make any sense to run the pistol this much." I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm going to be that guy. Excuse me, y'all. I'm trying to get over something. If you hear a little bit of coughing, I apologize about coughing in your ear. But I won't be the person to go ahead and say it. Your lack of experience in offensive play calling, I feel like contributed to Michael Penix Jr. getting hurt. In the San Francisco game, Michael Penix Jr. was left in the game, hobbling and limping around. He was obviously hurt then. Nobody took him out. Nobody looked at the young man and said, "Hey, I need to protect you from yourself. You need to come out of the game." Nobody did that. So moving forward, you made so many bad decisions. Kirk Cousins last year came in. We started off 6-3. You blew it like a runny nose. You left Kirk Cousins in there. Michael Penix Jr. came in, gave the whole offense a spark. You never stepped up or said anything this year whenever we were looking putrid. Today, offensively, we look putrid. Did y'all see did y'all see the stats? We won 19-17, but look at these stats. First of all, New Orleans Saints fans, I'm going to go ahead and tell you something. I think y'all may have found y'all quarterback. I'm going to keep it a book. I think Saints fans may have found their quarterback. Tyler Shuck is the real deal. But Kirk Cousins was 18 of 32, 180 yards. Now, the offense in total, we only had 208 yards offensively. What have we been saying? If Bijan Robinson isn't going crazy, y'all know Bijan Robinson is fourth in this season. He was fourth overall in scrimmage yards. Man was fourth overall in scrimmage yards. But if Bijan Robinson ain't going crazy, it's a struggle. We had 159 yards total in the air, 49 yards on the ground, 4 of 14 on third downs, 1 for 1 on fourth down, 5 penalties for 42 yards, another delay of game. But once again, this is what you want to do. This is what you sign up for. We also got a couple more Superman chats in here. My apologies if I ain't get to them quick enough for you. Will Fiji says, "I hope Raheem finds a nice DC position somewhere. He's a heck of a great human being. I mean, look, we definitely hope that he goes to greener pastures." That's that da da da. That's a Superman chat. Also, Jay says, "Promise, I was not watching the game if he was coming." See, Jay spoke. Jay is spoken. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Also, D Skill, he says, "Are they going to call Bill Belichick back?" That's a good question, Bo. And that's also that da da da. That's a Superman chat. And My homeboy Sanchez, we gotta link up sometime, bro. I hope you're doing good. Let me know if you deployed. But he says, Big Low, did you see Drake London after he caught that touchdown? He pushed Raheem in disgust. I saw that. That's also that da. That's a Superman chant, bro. There's something to look. So if anybody has seen, for everyone who's seen how Drake London acted after he caught that touchdown pass, if you seen it online or if you seen it happen live, if y'all seen it happen, put a 3 or a 3 yeet in the. If you seen it and you want to say what's up, 3 yeet. If you seen it, put a 3 or a 3 yeet in the chat. But what happened was Drake London caught the touchdown pass, threw the ball down in disgust, walked to the sideline looking pissed off. Raheem Morris was trying to talk to him. Drake London legit ignored the man, gave him a little stiff arm, like, hey, get up off me, get up off me. Raheem Morris steady trying to talk to him. Drake like, I don't even want to talk like that. Dapped everybody up, dapped his teammates up. He showed he got love for his teammates still. Then he stood about 6 feet from Zach Robinson, and I don't know what he told him, but he gave him the business. He gave him the business. Okay, Dr. Ganja, Clifford, they said that they saw it. He told whatever he told Zach Robinson, he said it with his chest. He said it with his chest. Now, moving forward, we've been saying for a while, shouts out to my homeboy Larry. He said, sir, we was just talking about this after the game. 5 p.m., it was over. Yes, shouts out to my homeboy Larry. Larry, let me know if you made it back home all right, too, Bo. I know that you went down there you had to go back down there to make it. Let me know you made it made it home okay. Tyler Russell says 3. Said he's seen it. Clown says 51 likes. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for us. If you could, make sure that you hit that like button. If you hit the like button for me, promise you I'll dance at your wedding one day. I just talked to my homeboy Ravage. Once again, congratulations on the engagement. I gotta go cut a rug at his wedding. But fact of the matter is, my homeboy Pag says 3. And if you go back and watch, the only person that tried to stop him was Raheem. Yes, that was the only person that tried to stop him. It's an issue. The offensive coordinator and the whole offense has been an issue for an extended period of time. It's been an issue for an extended period of time. Moving forward, if you look at the whole Ike Hilliard situation, the whole Ray McLeod situation, Coach Roney pointed it out to me, and I didn't even think about it. Coach Roney says, hey, whenever Ray McLeod made that post on Instagram like 2-3 weeks ago, said, didn't Drake like that post? I like, you know what? You're right. Doggone show did. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about the fact that he liked it. Dreesa says, let me go watch it. Dreesa, if you're on Twitter, it's on Twitter. Also, I see my homeboy Daryl earlier today, too. Shouts out to the Brownlees. Much love to y'all, fam. Hope you're doing good. But the fact of the matter is that whatever the issue was, there was some contention in the locker room, and it was obvious. It was contention in the locker room. Did David Seals play today? Because this whole thing about elevating David Seals from the 5th spot in the depth chart and making him a main guy was weird. Darnell Mooney, he looked a little bit more engaged today, but there's some contention in the locker room when it came to the wide receivers and Raheem Morris. JJ says, what in the world, Bo? Swept them 8s and fired Ra. In the words of Coach Roney, I didn't even have to use my AK. Today was a good day. Da-da-da! That's a Superman chant. Also, my homeboy Webb says, we may be the worst team in the NFC South next few years, and we need to accept it and build for the next few years. Webb, I ain't gonna lie to you, boy. I completely disagree with that. And I'm gonna tell you why. Da-da-da! That's a Superman chant. Also, my homeboy MC, he gave us a Superman sticker. That 199. Da-da-da! That's a Superman sticker. I apologize if the dun-da-duns ain't coming out as clear and as vocally, appeasing as they normally do. Like I said, I'm trying to get over something, y'all. No, it's been a reason why y'all ain't seen the old country boy on live here lately. I'm trying to, I think whenever we went to that Monday night game, excuse me, whenever we went to that Monday night game, uh, it was cold out there, Bo. It was cold. As a matter of fact, hold on one second. Let me call. I'm gonna see if Coach Ronnie can bring the old country boy some tea. Hold on one second. I've been calling on speaker. So she say, "Hey, baby,
Hello?
hey, baby, hey, you on speakerphone? So don't try to say nothing
What you
sexy."
say?
I said you on speakerphone, so don't try to say nothing sexy to me on the phone. Okay, I just make sure. I just make sure. Hey,
What's going on?
hey, could you do me a favor and bring me some tea? My Yeti mug is at the kitchen table.
You need me to make you some?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Which one you want?
I like to mix the peppermint and the green tea.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, appreciate it, baby. Thank you so much. My voice is starting to crack a little bit. It's not as soothing and soulful as it normally is.
Okay.
All right, thank you,
All
baby.
right.
All right, I'm telling y'all better get you a good look. Get you a good woman like Coach Ronald, boy. Look, y'all see how she take care of me. I seen that. Lario says, "I hope." Okay, I'm glad to hear it, Bo. Glad to hear it. But there's a reason why you had all of that dissension. Dr. Ganja asked another good question. What happened to Chris Blair? Where's Chris? He must be chilling out with Carmen San Diego, because we still ain't seen Chris Blair. In the words of Ti, has anybody seen Chris Blair? We all trying to find him. Where he at though? The King Son says, I told ATL fans that we made the wrong choice 2 years ago. Look, man, the whole situation, we're making the wrong choice, whether or not we made the right choice with Raheem Morris. And if you're glad that we went ahead and fired Raheem Morris, make sure that you hit that like button. If you need a way to express it and you don't want to be too loud because the kids are asleep upstairs, or the kids sleep in the other room, you need a way to express it. You can express it by hitting that like button. I would definitely and greatly appreciate it. But at the end of the day, it's one of them situations. We knew that Raheem Morris wasn't the best candidate for the job. We knew he wasn't. But guess what? We had to deal with it. Whenever we made the hire, you go back and look at my show. I was like, I don't know why, but we just had to make the best out of it. We wanted him to be successful. He was the first, African American coach in Atlanta Falcons history. We wanted him to be successful, but we knew that he wasn't the best candidate. We thought like, hey, maybe in the words of Lil Wayne, let it all work out. We were hoping that was all gonna work out. Mikey B says, free at last, free at last. Yes. I got my homeboy. Shouts out to my homeboy um Rashad from Panthers Nation Podcast in here. He just sent me a message. He says, Big Low, first off, thank you for your efforts today. Rise up. And he says, and you guys should not have done Raheem like that, though. Such a great man and coach. Pure travesty. Hashtag justice for Raheem. All right, Rashad. You need to get that hate out your heart. You know good and well Raheem Morris wasn't the right guy for the job. You knew he wasn't the right guy for the job. Craig Air Force says YouTube is on fire. Look, we always on fire. In the words of your boy Lloyd Banks, it's burning up. We on fire. Hey, boy, I feel like an adolescent. My voice is cracking like an adolescent. I gotta do better. Look, it's all right, Tracy. What I do is I'll send it to you on Instagram. Whenever I get a chance, whenever I get off the show, I send the video to you on Instagram, Tracy. That's not a problem. We'll get it out and make sure that you see it. Tyler Jones says justice for Raheem. We don't want no justice for Raheem. Look, Raheem Morris got paid handsomely for a job that he was not qualified for. Let's acknowledge it. I just watched Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson play a game where they were having mental gymnastics. It came down to the end, and this is the second game in a row that the Chicago Bears didn't pull it out in the end. But Chicago Bears are going to the playoffs, and they're going to be hosting home games. We still haven't hosted one in the bench. We still haven't hosted one in the bench. So Mike McDonald going to the playoffs. Ben Johnson going to the playoffs. Mike Vrabel going to the playoffs. Jim Harbaugh going to the playoffs. The thing is, and I'm not holding this up because I'm a member of the Four Horsemen. The thing is that those four guys were all candidates. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we interviewed all four of them, and we went with Raheem Morris. Now, Coach Ronnie told me something that she found on Twitter. Apparently, Raheem Morris was on vacation with Joshua Blank before he even got interviewed for the job. The offseason, he got hired for the Atlanta Falcons. You can't hire your friends. You can't hire your friends. At the end of the day, just because somebody's cool, that doesn't mean that you need to hire them. Dirty Bird says, what in the world, Bo? He says, we can finally look to the future with optimism. Be optimistic as long as you keep your head to the sky. Be optimistic. You can do it. Y'all know nothing about that. Y'all know the blackness. Y'all know nothing about that. As long as you keep your head to the sky. Look here, man. It's one of the situations where we should be saying and celebrating the fact that a man lost his job. Now, for all the people who say, hey, Big Low, you ain't right for celebrating that man losing his job. First of all, he's going to have another job next year. The NFL circle and the NFL coaching profession is something that you'll be good. Second of all, this man gets paid handsomely to coach a child's game, right? So I want nobody cutting me talk about how you celebrating and singing, uh, uh, um, and singing, and celebrating because this man gets fired. He deserved it. He deserved it. Everybody that's watching, if you feel like Raheem Morris deserved to get fired, or if you feel like we made the right decision to let him go, put a 1 in the chat. If you disagree, put a 2 in the chat. I just want to know what y'all are thinking. Wizzy says, but why is Zach Robinson still here? Well, so look, the fact of the matter is that whenever you fire a head coach, the coaching staff is all held in question. So it's most of the time whenever you fire a head coach, they'll announce who they're going to retain. So I wouldn't even consider it being a situation that, we're looking at it as Zach Robinson still being here. The head guy is gone. So we were talking about it today. Me, Ravage, Eric Parker, Mario, and James, everybody else that stands behind Section 135 and 136 before, at halftime, and after games. And we were saying that, look, if they keep Raheem Morris, they gotta let Zach Robinson go. If Raheem Morris does get let go, we know Zach Robinson is gonna be gone. So I mean, it's one of them situations where I wouldn't even look at it like, hey, it's a situation where we gotta ask why is Zach Robinson even here, or why is he still here? Essentially he's not. Fiji says, these guys get fired with millions of dollars in the bank. Nothing to worry. Exactly. They good. They good. And they're contracted workers. So guess what? You're still going to get paid. Raheem Morris had a 5-year contract. So most likely he's going to be getting paid twice next year. Appreciate that, Will Fiji. That's that. Dun-da-da. That's a Superman chat. Thank you so much, brother. Also, my homeboy Iron Mike is in here. He says, put all that shame on me. I'm celebrating. Look, exactly, Iron Mike. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Appreciate that, Bo. Um, but yeah, so let's see. Let's see our first poll of the day. I said, look, if you feel like Raheem Morris needed to, it was time for him to go. It's about time for him to leave. If you feel like it was about time for Raheem Morris to go, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like we should have kept him one more year, put a 2 in the chat. So my homeboy Stephon Shelling, in the words of that old school Louisiana song, how it go? We gonna start this thing off right. We gonna start this thing off right. Look, we go. Stephon said he started it off right. He put a 1 in the chat. Eric Matt said first black head coach in Atlanta Falcons history lays an egg. Yes, yes. Dicks away. Shouts out to my homeboy Larry. He says Falcons just posted. Yeah, man, we seen Terry was fired too. Unfortunately, you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet, man. The last Ram says 1. He agrees. J.R. Weezy says 1. He agrees. Lee Rawls says we should have kept him one more year. The Sports Block on Twitter says Raheem absolutely deserved. Exactly. I completely agree with you. Antoine Wartime rounds 1. Clowns. They all say 1. Wizzy Boom says 2. Felt like we should have kept him. DK Skills, Ron, J Kid, Sonic. They all feel like it was time to move on. J Mall says, my good people of the chat, my guy Big Low, won't he do it? I'm telling you, boy, never would have made it. Never would have made it. Never would have made it, Bo, without you. Dirty Bird. Um, Sports Block, they say 1. They feel like it was time for him to go. Tria says 2. Feel like we should have kept him another year. Marcus Worrells, Iron Mike, they said 1. My homeboy Tyler Jones says, yeah, we should have kept him. Tyler Russell, Eric Mack, Chris, they all say, yeah, it's time for him to go. Now, my question to y'all is, what about Terry Fontenot? And who do you think we should look at as far as our next GM? Because that's completely that's something that we got to look at as well. Now we got to look and say, hey, what do we do as far as the whole GM role? Because I mean, it sounds like the whole front, whenever they call the sportsology team in, and I want to be completely honest with you guys, whenever I see that, I got worried because I Googled them. Yeah, I did my. I was like, well, shoot, they doing research on us. Let's do the research on the people who's doing research on us. So whenever I Googled them, basically they were saying the things that I said on Reddit. So basically, it was a mixed bag. Some people were saying that it was one of them situations where that sportsology group, they would tell teams to fire their coaches a year too late, right? But some of them said that after that sportsology group came in, that's whenever teams turned everything around, i.e. the San Francisco 49ers after, thank you so much, baby. Oh, yeah, they filled up to the top too, ain't it? Thank you so much. Yeah, so i.e. the San Francisco 49ers, the second year after Kyle Shanahan was the coach whenever he lost those first 2 years. Also, a lot of people might not know this, but the Carolina Panthers actually used that sportsology group this past offseason, and they made a little bit of a turnaround. So, I mean, that sportsology group, whenever they came in, I was like, well, daggone. Either it's going to be something really good or it's going to mean something really bad. And for them to be for the Atlanta Falcons to be so proactive and let this man, they didn't wait till Black Monday, Bo. They went ahead and made they move before 9 o'clock on Sunday night. And I I've never seen I never seen the Atlanta Falcons do anything like that. In all honesty, I thought for sure we were going to run it back, but I guess my whole thing is that it's pretty obvious that Raheem Morris was in over his head. I mean, almost everybody in the chat, what was it? 90% of the people in the chat were saying, "Hey, it's one of them situations where, yeah, Raheem, yeah, he's not that guy." Now, that's crazy and that's interesting because we're gonna get to Terry Fontenot in just a second. But that's crazy and that's interesting. You may say, why is that the case, Lo? Well, the reason why that's so crazy is because there's a lot of coaches right now that are currently on the team that are rumored to be let go. John Harbaugh, he's coaching for their playoff life right now. I would take John Harbaugh in a heartbeat over Raheem Morris. Before it was just a quick conversation. It was like, "Hey, is that something that you would do?" Yes, I would do it. But now in the words of Cardi B, it's getting real. It's getting real. So yes, that's definitely something I would consider. Also, Mike Tomlin. Some people saying that Mike Tomlin might be moving on from the Steelers. That might be something to consider as well. Excuse me. Clown says, "Look, Bo, it's time to bring in the law firm of Matt and Associates. Ryan, GM, and LaFleur, head coach, OC. I'll take it. I don't know if Green Bay's going to let go of Matt LaFleur, though. But I know something that I would let go of myself. That, that's a Superman chat. Also, the last Rams in here, he says, I stand behind the one Raheem preached day one about outrunning the South and look at the NFC South. No lies told, Bo. That's a Superman chat. Also, Ron says, the way the firings went down, you can bet they already had replacements in mind. You said a mouthful there, Bo. That's a Superman chat. I can't knock you on that. Like that's you said a mouthful there. They somebody done spoke to somebody. Somebody done spoke to somebody. Now, y'all know that I'm not the biggest Bill Belichick guy, right? I'm not the, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the whole Bill Belichick experiment. TJ said it was time, bro. Yeah, it was time. It was time. Twiz, sorry, I know. Sorry, it says he beat New Orleans twice. I mean, come on, sorry, that's not that tough. That's not tough to beat Saints twice. Come on. Come on. You know what? Sorry, you should have used the right word. We swept the Saints. We didn't beat them twice. We swept them. That's what, use the right verbiage. We swept the Saints. Shouts out to my homeboy, Atlanta Falcon fan Demi. He said we should have kept him. Said it was too soon. It was too soon. Jamarcia says, congratulations. You lost your locker room. Boy. If y'all seen Drake London, y'all would definitely agree that he lost the locker room. Bro Talk says, hey, Bo, you popping bottles? Start with straight shots and then pop bottles. I mean, we gotta sing a New Orleans song, right? Since we swept the Saints today, right? Shouts out to my homeboy Bro Talk, man. Much love to my brother, Bo. James says, Lo, where do you think we go for GM? So, and I'm glad that you asked that question. As far as the whole GM situation, I think you promote somebody in the organization. I think it might be a Kyle Smith. A few little birdies told me that Kyle Smith was very proactive in this past draft. So you might seriously consider getting a Kyle Smith, promoting him to be your new GM. Or, I hate to say this, you might get Rich McKay's son from the Rams. I don't know. I don't know that felt very messy. I said that, and then I sipped the tea. I sipped the tea, but that felt very messy. But you might get Rich McKay's son from the Rams. What's his name? John McKay. You might get Rich McKay's son from the Rams. That sound doesn't that sound like the most Falcons move ever? Doesn't it? And once again, just because he's in the room when it happened, I don't know if it's a situation where he was the reason why it happened. At, well, Fiji, I told Coach Ron the same thing. I like, man, Lamar Jackson looking blowed out there. That boy looking like he out there singing, do you, 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 do you love me, Mary Jane? He's like that's the way he was looking. Man. Tamarcia says, if a guy gets rolling, you ride the wave. Everyone knows this. This is dumb. Tamarcia, I can't agree with you. Some people win games whenever there's nothing on the line. Raheem Morris has consistently showed that he wins games when there's nothing on the line. But whenever you need him to win, whenever the division is gift wrapped to him, the division was gift wrapped to him twice. The team that won the division this year has a losing record. We started 6-3 last year. Whenever the division is gift wrapped to him, he blew it 2 times in a row. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Dr. Guy just says I like Ray Agnew from the Lions. Look, there's some good candidates out there. There's some good candidates out there, and we need a good forward thinking GM that could get creative with the cap and that could go out, scout players accordingly, and get players for good value. Because number one, we don't have a first round pick next year. And as much as I really hate the fact, I told y'all, and Lady T, I agree with you. I wanted to keep Terry. I told y'all the perfect scenario for me would be to keep Terry Fontenot and let go of Raheem Morris. But what 8, 9 straight losing seasons? You at this point you kind of got to do what you got to do. And if I hate to say it, if Terry Fontenot is collateral damage, just how somebody said Raheem Morris is a good person and a great guy. At the end of the day, you paid Kirk Cousins $200 million. Another situation we just tried to make the best out of. We tried to make lemonade out of it. You paid Kirk Cousins $200 million. We tried to get behind it. But at the end of the day, his age started showing. Even in the game today, his age started showing. You get a 36-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles injury. You get that man $200 million. Where is that responsible? I just don't see it. I just don't see where I just don't see where responsibility took the wheel in that particular situation. Shouts out to my homeboy Rose City says, he said, rise up, Big Low. He just spelled it wrong. He says, what in the world, Bo? You ain't say nothing about us sweeping you. Why? Come on, Ro. Why you say nothing about us sweeping you? Shouts out to my brother Padre. He says, keep hearing about this guy named Cunningham out of the Bears front office, supposedly a sharp mind. I'm gonna look him up. I'm gonna look him up. Cheryl Norwood Gibbons says Matt Ryan cooking somewhere in the mix. Do y'all think that Matt Ryan could be the GM though? I can see it being a situation where Matt Ryan could come in and be like a player's personnel guy, right? I thought they were thinking about bringing Matt Ryan in a way to pacify the Atlanta Falcons fans. I thought whenever I heard that they were bringing Matt Ryan into the mix, me and Coach Ron, we looked at each other and we was like, they keep a Raheem Morris. They're going to bring the most beloved player in Atlanta Falcons history, or one of the most beloved players in Atlanta Falcons history, back into the organization to be like, hey, y'all, we got Matt Ryan back. Ain't it great to see Matt Ryan? Meanwhile, Raheem Morris will be on the sideline. But that obviously that wasn't the case. The Atlanta Falcons are being proactive, and you can't knock that. Dr. God says, "Heck, not a Rick Smith." Look, I'm just saying, I could definitely look. It sounds like an Atlanta Falcons thing to do, but maybe with the whole sportsology concept, them bringing them in to take a look at things and think about it. They brought the sportsology team in before they brought the sportsology team in before the season even ended. What was it? It was like 3-4 weeks left in the season. Whenever they did that, I was like, oh yeah, some heads are gonna roll. I don't know who it's gonna be, but heads are gonna roll. Carlton Turner's in here. He says the Matt Ryan hire rumors become interesting. You right. You right. They definitely do become interesting now, fam. I can't lie to you on that. Shouts out to my boy Will Fiji. He says, I hope now I'll see a Super Bowl in Atlanta before I expire. Man, I do too, bro. I do too. Leaving the stadium today and you look up at the standings and you see the top three teams in the NFC South are 8 and 9. And you see talents like Bijan Robinson on the field. You see talents like Drake London on the field, who's obviously not getting used to his potential. You see talents like Kyle Pitts, who's obviously not getting used to his potential. You see James Pierce Jr. getting the most sacks of a rookie since Micah Parsons, 10 plus sacks as a rookie. You see the Jalen Walkers. You see the Xavier Watts of the world, the Jesse Bates, the A.J. Terrells. You see the Chris Lindstroms, and you're like, man, like you got all this talent, and you just blew it. All of us were looking at each other today. We didn't want to leave. We stayed at the game about an hour after the game was over. Me, Lario, Ravage, Eric Parker, Mario, everybody. Uh, so many people. Oh, Joe. We all just stood around and we were like, man, we supposed to be back in here next week hosting a playoff game, but unfortunately, we can't get out of our own way. We can't get out of our own way, and that's sad. And that's sad. Carter Turner says, "I like Terry Fontenot. I wish he could have found a better head coach. I don't think Raheem Morris was a Terry Fontenot hire. I don't think he was a Terry Fontenot hire. In all honesty, I feel like Raheem Morris was a blank family hire because he was dialed in with the blank family. He never lost contact. He reached out every now and then and was like, "Hey, if another job comes up, you know who to call." And unfortunately, we didn't call Ghostbusters. Unfortunately, we called Raheem, and Raheem wasted 2 seasons. He wasted 2 seasons. And I still go down saying that the inexperience in the offensive coordinator room contributed to Michael Penix Jr. getting hurt. I'm just going to be completely honest. Dr. God just says Clint Kubiak as the next head coach. Y'all see how he has that offense humming in Seattle. Last time we took a coordinator from Seattle, we did go to the Super Bowl. Dr. Ganja says, I'll take Stefanski. Shouts out to my homeboy Padre. I'm sure he's watching. No, he's a big Kevin Stefanski guy. I mean, Kevin Stefanski is a Kyle Shanahan disciple. I mean, so it's but the crazy thing is, and I don't know if they've announced anyone else, but the crazy thing is that we're the first ones. This was the first hit to roll before Black Monday even came. That's what's crazy. Like, y'all, this is how we rolling. It sounds like the Atlanta Falcons are going to be very aggressive, even so aggressive as to maybe trade up into the first round next year. Does anybody know which pick we have in the second round? Does anyone know? Furball, he says, are you surprised? Da da da. That's a Superman chat. I'm very surprised, Furball. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very surprised. I did not think we'd be in a situation where we would, turn around and let your boy go. I thought it was going to be one of those cases where we kind of, you know, took a step back and said, hey, I mean, he did win 4 games, but it is what it is. My homeboy Padre says, I heard Matt will be more of a consultant voice with actual playing experience and face of the team. Chris Spielman does the same thing for the Lions. Hello, I hang up and listen. And that's what I was thinking, like a player personnel consultant kind of role. Be that guy to kind of come in and, that has the voice of the players saying, hey, I feel like the players, feel this type of way. I remember whenever I played and in the golden days, whenever we were going to the playoffs over and over again. This is how we did things. This is how players felt in these situations. I feel like that's going to be Matt Ryan. Da da da! That's a Superman chat. Shouts out to you. It shouts out to my good buddy Bella. This is especially for you, Bella. Da da da! That's a Superman chat. That was for Bella. Y'all make sure that y'all show Bella that in the morning. But the fact of the matter is that we have to figure out what we're going to do. I had a few people ask me questions today, and I kind of stood on it. I kind of stood on it. Somebody asked me, Clown says we got 115 likes. Shouts out to y'all for the 115 likes. If anybody hadn't hit that like button, I'm me clapping my hands. It ain't me applauding you. It's me clapping your hands like, hey, hit that like button. I'm just playing. But excuse me. Moving forward here, somebody asked me today, hey coach, what do you do with Kyle Pitts? You bring Kyle Pitts back, or do you let him go? So I'm going to ask the chat, what y'all think? If y'all think we should bring Kyle Pitts back, give me a 3 or a 3 in the chat. If you feel like we need to just let him go, put a 4 in the chat. I just want to know what y'all thinking. Eric Matt says it's a brand new year. Let's get them lights up, Big Low. You already know it. Appreciate you, Bo. Appreciate you. Oh, Washington says Tony Dungy. Nah, man, Tony Dungy, he done shut it down. He's chilling on what's that? NBC. I think he on NBC with all them folks on there. Granddaughter says, yo, 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 Big Low Country, Coach Ronnie, what it is, where you be at, who you be with. You know this. Did PNP hit you up? And thank you. Yeah, man, they already hit me up, man. Shout out to my boys over there at PNP, making that playoff run. First time in 8 years. Shout out to the Panthers fans, man. Much love to y'all. For yes, Mike, a thousand. Y'all know I've been on this Mike McCarthy train for months. Y'all know this. I was saying Mike McCarthy back when Raheem Morris wasn't playing the starters in the preseason. I was like Mike McCarthy. So and for y'all, for all the people who aren't normal viewers of the show, if you didn't know this, during the preseason, our head coach decided to not let our offensive coordinator call plays and give TJ Yates, who was the quarterback's coach at that point in time, and then had to unceremoniously um, transition to the wide receivers coach position. But he gave the quarterbacks coach the play caller responsibilities in the preseason, all 3 preseason games. Then our offensive coordinator proceeded to struggle through this offense all season long and lead the league in delay of game penalties. That's why Raheem Morris is no longer the coach of the Atlanta Falcons. That's why. Uh, Ian Cunningham has some experience under Ozzie. Okay. Look, anybody with experience under Ozzie, I'll take him because Ozzie was a beast. Eric Mack says, look, why not Ozzie was the GM for the look. I take Ozzie, but didn't Ozzie retire? He retired what last year? No, he retired a few years ago. He retired whenever they got Lamar Jackson, right? He said that was his parting gift for the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. So that was what 5-6 years ago. Yeah, Ozzie ain't trying to come back. Ozzie said he's shutting it down. Edward Bloom says, I was wondering why they would let Matt back. Makes you say, yeah, you're right. Dr. Slick says consulting firms usually just parrot whatever the person who hired them told. Well, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I remember I worked for a company. They brought in a consulting firm, and that consulting firm they followed everybody around, asking them what they did throughout the day, and they told everybody like, "Oh yeah, this isn't going to affect your job. Just go about your day like you normally would. This isn't going to affect you at all. It affected people. It affected people. They were following people around, writing down what they did, what they didn't do, and then whenever the time came to let people go, the people who they wrote a lot of stuff down about, those are the people who got let go. Sportsology, the consulting firm, they probably followed Raheem Morris around, and they were probably like, "Oh, so y'all didn't practice today? Oh, okay. Y'all normally do that? Oh, hey, go. You said you fired Ike because he had the last chicken breast. Showed up. That's why you fired the wide receiver coach. You show. You really like Popeye? Okay, okay. You really like Popeyes? He ate the last chicken breast. Daggone, that's tough. Okay. You told Ray he could go with him. Oh, okay. Look, every man got to stand on something. I guess you know. Look, every man got to stand on something. I guess you feel like you had to mess around and stand on business. I guess you feel like you had to stand on business. Every man got to stand behind something, don't it? So, look, at the end of the day, those consulting firms, it's something serious. It is something serious. We got a couple more Superman chats here. Let's see. My homeboy Big Brewski, he says after Rod handed out those game balls, Blake handed them those papers. Finna sign the papers. There go. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Goodness gracious. Not no papers. Golly. Um, also, uh, brother Hosea, he says this is not good. I can see Zach, but everyone else, no. Now our defense regresses and new offense, which takes at least 2 seasons. Coaches need 4 years, and I definitely understand where you're coming from. But ask this question right here, brother Hosea: if Raheem would have been here for 2 more years, if you say it takes 4 years, if Raheem would have been here for 2 more years, do you feel like he would have had the capability to win us a Super Bowl? That's the question that you got to ask. If he would have been here for 2 more years, you feel like he would have had the capability of winning us a Super Bowl? And that's 6-7. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Um, well, Fiji says, do you realize 8 out of the 14 playoff teams this year had worse records than us last season? Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. Da da da. That's a Superman chat, and also, brother Hosea, if you look at those teams, a lot of these teams that are in the playoffs, a lot of them got new coaches. Jim Harbaugh, this is his second year, playoffs. Mike McDonald, playoffs. Ben Johnson, first year, playoffs. Mike Vrabel, second year, playoffs. It didn't take 4 years for them. Why can it not take 4 years for us? DC Craig says, God is good. Won't he do it? Never would have made it without you. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Let me get a little bit of tea here. I got it. Hold on. All right, there we go. Okay, there we go. We good now. We good. But yeah, never would have made it, Bo. Never would have made it. Won't he do it? God good all time. Hello, all time God is good. Granddad says, "Big low country. You can't fire a brother on Black Friday. Uh, that's so wrong, fam. We fired him on the dusk on a Sunday night. Excuse me. Cheryl Underwood says pick 42 or 43. What you talking about, Cheryl? Um. Okay. You talk about for the pick. Okay, for the pick next year. Okay, got you. And Padre says, Coach, we have the 47th pick. Okay. Now, which pick is that in the like? Is that in the second round? Is that like the 11th pick, or is that the Because I know a lot of times they'll add on some additional picks. So is that the 11th pick, or is that the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th pick? Michael says, please, no Stefanski, boy. Don't say that too loud, boy. Padre gonna jump on you. Ghost Pepper says Stefanski as OC is cool. Stefanski as head coach, absolutely not. I take him as an OC. I completely agree with you on that, Ghost Peppers. If you give me Kevin Stefanski as an OC, I'm good. But as a head coach, nah, bro. Nah, bro. I take him. I also take McDaniel from Miami. I also take McDaniel from Miami. Grandizer says 43 with the 2026 NFL draft. Okay. Ian says, I low key don't want a new logo. I love our current one. Yeah, but it might give us them red helmets, bro. Look, if we get them red helmets, I'm in there like swimwear. Padre says 160 likes now. Okay, appreciate that, Padre. Much love to you, bro. Courtney Brown's in here. Courtney says franchise tag Pitts a year. Okay. So So I asked everybody, do you feel like we should keep Pitts or let him go? I said, if you feel like we should, what was it? I said keep him, put a 3 in the chat, or let him go, put a 4 in the chat. I can't remember. Y'all let me know. But I think I said keep him, put a 3 in the chat, and let him go, put a 4 in the chat. Uh, uh, what's that? Rye Bread says love from PNP. Hashtag rise up. He just spelled it wrong. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Shouts out to you, Rod Bread, man. Much love to you. Hope y'all enjoy your playoffs. Okay. So 3 was to keep him. I was like, okay. So Cheryl, she says 3. Um Wesley says 3. Ron says 3. Dr. Slick says 3. I don't care either way, but I'm leaning towards keeping and tagging. Okay. Mike Smith says let him go. Pat says 3. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and be completely honest and transparent with y'all. I'm letting Kyle Pitts go. I'm sorry. I'm letting Kyle Pitts go. I'm letting Kyle Pitts go. It's time to start over. It's time to start over. Corbin says keep him, tag him. I'm letting him go. It's time to start over. It's time to start over. At the end of the day, if you keep saying if we're not using them right, and if you get somebody to use them right, you're just gonna keep kicking the can down the road. I feel like my homeboy, I feel like my homeboy, New Age Dragon, the man earned the bag next year. Let that man go get paid. He had the second best numbers of any tight end in the league, and those numbers weren't anything to blow you out the water. That wasn't fourth overall pick numbers. Let that man go get paid. We over here trying to play games. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, and I'm gonna ask everybody in the chat. What did Kyle Pitts do this year that no other tight end could do? What did Kyle Pitts do this year that no other tight end could do in this league or in college? The college game is changing. All these tight ends can run and catch now. There's there Yeah, Kyle Pitts is what 6'5", 240. There's a whole bunch of good guys out there that's 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 240, 250, 260. What can Kyle Pitts do that no other tight end can do? I'm just asking. I'm going to read everybody's answers. Uh, my homeboy Blue Precision said, "Yeah, we need to let Kyle Pitts go." Uh, D.A. Hunter, he says nothing at all. He says he don't do nothing that nobody can do. Richard says he don't do nothing nobody can do. Will Feature says nothing. Corbin says nothing. Daggone. Sergeant says nothing but drop balls. Daggone. Uh, ATL Go Man says that's a daggone good question, bro. um, NJ says trade him to Carolina. Nah, we've been traded to Carolina. Now we ain't too crazy. But Richard says we UGA fans, so nothing we accustomed to. Daggone. Kyle Pitts, at the end of the day, uh Young Star says Uncle Steve GM coach, low head coach. There you go. There you go. Somebody call Arthur. Drees says he's not given a fair chance due to coach. And I completely agree with you, Drees. He's not given a fair chance. I completely agree with you. And I also feel like he deserves his bag. He deserves to get paid. So why should we try to keep him and put him through his third offensive coordinator and ain't no telling what number quarterback, because ain't no telling who's going to be the quarterback next year. Why should we try to keep him and mess him up? Because you only get a short window to be to make an impact as an NFL player. So why should we mess around and get him and he ends up being used the same amount that he was used this year? Sometimes people just need to change the scenery. And I feel like the amount that we have used them under different coaching regimes, we get another tight end that can do the same thing. And the fact of the matter is, I'm pretty sure we're going to go out and get a number one or a number two wide receiver. We're going to have a one. I got to feel we're going to have a 1A and a 1B wide receiver with Drake London and somebody else. So why try to do it and stifle this young man's ability to be great? Why? You gonna keep him, pay 14, $15 million in a franchise tag when you could just draft a tight end or go get a tight end in free agency for a whole lot cheaper and get you close to the same numbers. But it's a good chance that this whole offense is going to be changing anyway. So why run it back with them? I mean, just to say, hey, just to say we're keeping them. I mean, I mean, look, it, I can see. I mean, I would like to keep Kyle Pitts. I want Kyle Pitts to be here for his whole career, but financially, that feels like a Thomas Dimitroff move. If we keep Kyle Pitts, sometimes you just gotta know how to let some people go. It's like I want Kyle Pitts to be successful, and what I'm saying is that I'm willing to say and acknowledge that Kyle Pitts might be successful somewhere else. That's what I'm saying. Like, what is he doing that no other tight end can do? I mean, he got a whole bunch of opportunities because we didn't have no wide receivers. Because it looks like all of them were mad at Raheem Morris. Well, Fiji says, man, watching Baltimore and Pittsburgh right now, says we are blessed to not play in the elements at home and in the division. And we still lose. Dang, go. Dun, da, da. That's a Superman chat. That's rough right there, bro. Ibrahim is in here. He says, Ra got with on all three coaching hires year one. Terry Fontenot did well, but stinky and that much capital. Um, in the quarterback position only to still have question marks in 2026 doomed them. Credit to Arthur for moving on. I completely agree with you, Ibrahim. And I agree that that's that. Dun, da, da, that's a Superman chat. Completely agree with you there, Bo. Also, you got Coach Willie Dock in here. He says, can you explain how the consultant firm reviewed the Falcons? Is it the same firm that hired Dan Quinn? When do you think Blank made up his mind? I feel that they got the GM lined up already. And that's that $10 joint. Appreciate you there with a dot. That's that da da da. That's a Superman chat. Well, as far as making the decision on Raheem Morris, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like they made a decision on Raheem Morris, and they made the decision on Terry Fontenot at the same time. And I feel like this decision has been made. I feel like Arthur Blank waited to tell them and waited to break the news to them after the game because he wanted to. Arthur Blank, he always wants the team to finish as strong as they can at the end of the season, whether or not. Uh, Rich said Santiago was better. Santiago, that was that dude now. Santiago was that guy. Austin Hooper, you know, you got to talk about the great Tony Gonzalez. But I feel like he waited. We heard so many rumors. Excuse me. We heard so many rumors going into the end of the season, like, hey, Raheem Morris's coaching future may be in jeopardy. And I think, and I might be wrong whenever I say this, guys, I think that it's one of those cases where whenever Raheem Morris and the team started winning after he heard that his job was in jeopardy, I feel like that synced him even more. Think about it. Whenever we heard that Raheem Morris's job was in jeopardy after we fell out of playoff contention, guys, we were out of playoff contention at Thanksgiving. At the end of November, we knew we weren't making it in the playoffs. That's the whole month of December, everybody was going through the motions. Whatever they would yell, it's third down. We were like, yeah, yeah, but I mean, this isn't. I mean, we know we don't got a chance to do anything. This is just for today. At the end of the day, whenever they had the meeting or Raheem Morris heard that his job was in jeopardy, and we go on a 4 or 5 game win streak, that sealed his fate right there. Because that showed Arthur Blank that, hey, so you just feel like you could turn it on whenever you want to. You just feel like, and then and the crazy thing is, a lot of those games you still almost lost. You should have beat the Saints by 10 points today. Easy. Easy. You should have beat the Saints by 10 points. No Chris Olave, Taysom Hill's out. Who can anybody name another wide receiver on the Saints team besides Chris Olave? Can anybody? I ain't talking about Saints fans. I'm just talking about Falcons fans. Can anybody name another wide receiver besides Chris Olave? Alvin Kamara's out. Jawan Johnson is their guy. The tight end is their guy. And mind you, I don't know if y'all realize this, but the Atlanta Falcons Content Creator League, I'm the champion. I forgot to tell y'all, it's been so crazy. I'm the champion. Jawan Johnson, he was my tight end, and made me think about that. But fact of the matter is, we should have smacked the Saints. Arizona Cardinals. We should have smacked the Arizona Cardinals. We shouldn't be winning that game off of a last second pick. We should that's not how we should win that game. Because let me look at this. The Los Angeles Rams, they played the Arizona Cardinals today. 37-20. 37-20. Cincinnati Bengals, they played the Arizona Cardinals last week. 37-14. Atlanta Falcons, they played a one possession game. 26-19. Last second pick. If that didn't happen, it would have been overtime, baby. And you know what we do in overtime. At the end of the day, Raheem Morris messed himself up. He didn't take that. He didn't take things seriously when they needed to be taken seriously. You didn't start your players in the preseason. We missed the playoffs by one game. I put out a video during the preseason. He's getting all belligerent and making jokes and pointing at other people like who is this guy? Talking about D. Orlando Ledbetter. You missed the playoffs by one game. You lost the first. What did we lose the first two games of the season or the first game of the season? Hold on. We lost the first game of the season, 20-23. The offense was putrid. I wonder what would have happened if we would have played during the preseason and let that young Thundercat quarterback that y'all just crowned as the starter, let him play and get a little bit more acclimated to playing in the game in the preseason. I wonder if that one play would have made a difference. I wonder if that one miscommunication would have made a difference. And we would have been talking about getting ready for the playoffs next Sunday. But no, everything gravy over here. Well, look, I'm coming over there tomorrow with my back brace in the Penske truck to help you move. What's going on, Keisman? Keisman says, I think Matt is hired as GM. Expect Pitts to be back. Last time they played together, Pitts had 1,000 yards. What y'all think? Da da da. That's a Superman chat. I mean, look. I mean, that is one thing you got to consider. Like Matt and Kyle Pitts, they had a good relationship. Like Kyle Pitts was Matt's guy before Matt left here. I don't know if Matt's gonna be the GM though. I think he might be more of a consultant player personnel guy, but you never know. You never know. It could be one of those cases where it's like, um, you know, they could approach the whole GM room as a collective. You know, we've seen the Atlanta Falcons do that before. Keisman also says, love the channel. Sad to see our fan attendance every single year look like they playing during COVID. Well, I appreciate that, Kyra. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Yes, sir. We definitely appreciate it, my friend. Well, Fiji says stats are for losers. We'll ever have to hear that again. I don't ever want to hear you say that again. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Oh my goodness. What starts as who we picking for head coach? Look, that's the beautiful thing. That's something that we have to talk about because we doggone sure ain't got no playoffs to talk about. We doggone sure ain't got no playoffs. I'm just Nico says Falcons or Saints. Of course the Falcons. Of course the Falcons, right? I mean, Falcons swept the Saints this year. Saints fans ain't gonna tell you, but the Falcons swept the Saints. They might say the Falcons got us 2-0 this year, but they ain't using the correct verbiage. We swept the Saints. We swept the Saints. Tristan says Raheem gambled on Robinson. He probably should have gotten rid of him when he fired Hilliard. Yeah, he should have got rid of Robinson last year, in all honesty. Whenever he got rid of your boy Jimmy Lake Lanier, he should have went ahead and got rid of Zach Robinson too. Chris says Shuck and Johnson played together in college. Hey, I forgot how long Shuck has been in college, bro. Like it's been a long time. TW says, boom, what in the world, Bo? Arthur finally said, shoot, PSL ticket revenue, season ticket revenue has gone down enough. Ra just a BSer, and he took down Terry too. Unfortunately, Terry was that Terry was that collateral damage, man. Um, Endo Soul Vision says you act like a first round pick is the end all be all. We don't care about that pick. Yeah, I'm good. You got you see James Pierce out here. James Pierce led the team in sacks, 10+ sacks, the most sacks uh since Michael Parsons. I am good. I'm good. Lim Nice in here says putrid. Yes, Lim Nice. Putrid. Putrid offense. I'm good on Pete Carroll. Y'all can have Pete Carroll. I am good on Pete Carroll. Yuri's in here. What's going on, Yuri, man? Look, Yuri, I don't know if you're gonna be able to get your seat back, Bo. Raheem Morris is gone. You know the deal. Coach Rhoda said she ain't coming as long as Raheem Morris is in there. So I'm sorry, Yuri. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, Bo. You know, Coach Rhoda gonna have to get a seat back now. Coach Rhoda gonna have to get a seat back now, Bo. Oh man. November Scorpio, what's going on, fam? Hope you're doing good tonight. Look, we doing. Wait a minute, what? Sorry, it says hi, Trey Young. If he available, and we don't know how long Trey Young gonna be in Atlanta. Shoot, whenever Trey Young don't play, that's when we win. Shoot, I'm just Nico says hire Bill Belichick. Okay, well look, let's put that up for a vote. Let's put that up for a vote. If you feel like we need to hire Bill Belichick, put a 1 in the chat. If you disagree and you feel like we should hire somebody else, put a 2 in the chat. Y'all let me know what you thinking. Y'all let me know what you thinking. If you feel like we need to hire Bill Belichick, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like it's one of them situations where we need to go in a different direction, put a 2 in the chat. Because I knew that this was gonna be the topic. I knew everybody's gonna say, hey, look, let's hire Bill Belichick. Like, no, no. So you let me know. If you feel like we should hire him, put a 1 in the chat. If you disagree, put a 2 in the chat. I just want to know what y'all thinking. Just want to know what y'all thinking. Now, one thing that you got to consider, and maybe this is superstition. Maybe this is superstition. But one thing that you got to consider is every time the Falcons change uniforms, we always go on a little bit of a run. We catch a little bit of life. So maybe that might be the case in this situation. We're changing uniforms next year. And the rumor is we're going red helmets. If we go red helmets, we're gonna hit them upside the head, take everything in their pockets. So that's one thing that you got to consider. Um, let's see. Heath Herder says Trey who? He talking about Trey Young. You just joking, bro. Melvin says, yeah, bring in Bill Belichick. I'm just Nico says, bring Bill Belichick. I'm just Nico. He the one that started all this. What's that? Mr. Special, Mr. Special, Mr. It says two. He says, nah, I'm not pineapples. I don't like Bill Belichick. Endo Solvich says Todd Monken would be interested in my opinion. I was seriously consider Todd Monken as an OC. I don't know. I don't know what kind of head coaching this. I'm gonna have to look back and check on his head coaching experience. Heath, Willie Dopp, Corbin. Where's Corbin? Says two. Says he disagrees with it. Chris says two. Dr. Ganja put 22 twos. Sterling, Lil Man. Chris MC put 222 twos. Uh, uh, Keaton, Fat Clowns. They all say two. They disagree. Danny Johnson, 222 twos. For my ATL movies, what's going on, T Will? Hope you're doing good, man. He says, hey, nah, two. Uh, Corbin says, definitely not ATL. Go, dang on. Y'all just do not like the whole Bill Belichick idea, do you? I'm pretty sure Coach Rona is somewhere drawing a two herself, even though she's not on the show. But I agree with the twos. Bill Belichick, if this would have been 12 years ago, this would have been 12 years ago, I would have been all for it. But unfortunately, I cannot ride with the whole Bill Belichick situation. There are a few different reasons. Number one, uh, and I'm not saying this because I feel like older people are full of wisdom, knowledge, and a different type of understanding that younger people don't have. I feel like I feel like he's not in with the times, right? I don't feel like he can evolve to the new style of NFL, and that showed his last few years. Number two, I'm petty. I'm me myself. I'm saying this for my own personal reasons. I feel like uh, his girlfriend, she's trolled us so much. I don't want her to be like the first lady of the Atlanta Falcons. Like UNC, they've literally had to ban her from the stadium. She can't even come to the facility anymore because like she's always saying something and not thinking about it like a what Coach Runner says she's a toddler, like a toddler does. You got to put them in the corner. So that reason alone of itself. Number three, I'm not like a whole if you can't beat them, join them kind of guy. I apologize for the people who are, but I'm too competitive, and that man handed us the worst loss in Super Bowl history. And I don't want to be like, oh yeah, now Bill Belichick, maybe he can lead the Falcons to a Super Bowl, the same Super Bowl he took from their grasp back in 2016. I don't want to hear that all the time. And then if we don't win a Super Bowl, he still has his Super Bowl, but we still looking for ours. So I'm good. I'm good on the whole Bill Belichick thing. I'm good on that. Mad says, Big Low, what's going to happen to Jeff, uh, who has done a fine job with our defense? Look, hopefully the new head coach that comes in and says, "Hey, Jeff, you don't got to worry about moving nothing, big dog. You good, you good." Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully that's the case. Richard says two for Kyle. Man, I'd love to have Kyle Shanahan in here, bro. What I got to do? What I got to do to get Kyle Shanahan in here? I would love to have Kyle Shanahan. Jimmy Walker says, I'm a Packer fan. He says, bro, nah. 222 twos. Says, y'all don't want Bill Belichick. Chris says, two. ETV 1983 says, one. Says, boy, you better go ahead and jump on that Bill Belichick train. Yeah, bro, I'm good. I'm good. Sergeant says, try Nick Saban. Look here. Miss Terry is not going to. I be telling everybody, I know Miss Terry. I know Coach Saban. Coach Saban ain't for the coach no more, Bo. That's done. Miss Terry is not gonna let Coach Saban coach no more. And she sure don't think gonna let him coach NFL. If she gonna let coach, he gonna coach college football. And that's gonna be more of a figurehead kind of a situation. Coach ain't coaching no more, Bo. Nick Saban is not coaching anymore. Miss Terry she done put her foot down. Miss Terry say jump, Coach Saban say how high. See, that man ain't coaching. Sorry, it says Cam Newton. This ain't CN1. Look, I love Cam. Cam, my boy. Much love to Cam. Cam, if you see this, please don't beat me up. Cause I done seen how big you are. And I done seen you put hands on people. Cam, please don't beat me up. But nah, nah. Maybe one day Cam could be a coach. Cam could do the whole Coach Prime thing and come up through the ranks and bring a whole different type of swag to the whole coaching atmosphere. Matter of fact, Cam, you should seriously consider that. I know that you're doing the whole flag football thing and everything. You need to seriously consider, going into coaching and taking it to a whole nother level. Bring me on your coaching staff. I got you. I got you. I do whatever you need me to do, and we'll be good. I even wear a hat. Cam. Shouts out to Cam, bro. Clown says 197 likes. Y'all, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for hitting that like button for me. Thank y'all so much for hitting that like button. Indo Soul Vision says, dang, we think a lot of like, bro. Who you saying? You saying somebody in the chat you think a lot of like with or with me? Lamar says Bill can't win without Brady. Fat says Bill could be the GM, maybe. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. A lot of people don't know this. But y'all know I always bring you in. I always bring you on the inside. Strong possibility Bill Belichick might be your head coach. It's a strong possibility. And I'm going to tell you why. 3-4 weeks ago, Bill Belichick's girlfriend, she's she's in adult cheerleading competitions. I'm giving you the tea. I'm giving you the tea. 3-4 weeks ago, Bill Belichick's girlfriend was in an adult cheerleading competition in Atlanta at the World Congress Center. Guess who else happened to be there? Arthur Blank. If I'm lying, I'm flying. If I'm lying up, guess who else happened to? When Arthur Blank ever be in the World Congress Center? Y'all done been up in the bench. I see how Arthur Blank move. Arthur Blank don't just be popping up at the World Congress Center. You see Arthur Blank in the field. He'll go in the back alleyways and the tunnels. He'll ride the elevator up to the Gold Wing Club, his own personal elevator, and he chill out in his suite that's encased in glass. Arthur Blank was at the World Congress Center chilling out with Bill Belichick. So it's a possibility that could be something. It's a possibility that could be something. Dirty Bird says, Big Low, tell me you lying, right? I'm not lying. If I'm lying, I'm flying, Bo. Shouts out to your online tuner. I'm just Nico says, Big Low, can you say 6'7"? 6'7"? Online tuner says, stream died right as you said it. Oh man. Sai says, spit it out, dog. I'm telling you. I'm telling. Deanna says, no, it's not low. I disagree. That would be a malpractice. Look. Billy Power Max said, let's get Bill. Brandon Little says, a good job, Arthur Blank. Look, and look, it might work. It very well might work. It very well might work. I'm just glad we don't got the same guy who we had these last 2 years. At the end of the day, I'm just glad that we don't have the same guy that we had these last 2 years. Mario Brown says, go get Dion. And Dion can't win in Colorado. What makes you think he gonna win in Atlanta? Dion has the privilege of getting guys who want to just play for Deion Sanders. He got Juju. He got Juju last year as his quarterback. He was the top quarterback in the nation. Juju was supposed to go to Georgia. He switched it up, went to Colorado. There's a lot of kids that went to Colorado. Coach Prime still ain't winning. And I ain't gonna say that too loud, because Coach Rona hear me say that, she's gonna come in here and beat me up. But Deion didn't win. And I don't know if you want him as your coach. I think he need a little bit more cooking. He ain't done yet, Bo. He don't got that tenderism yet, Bo. He ain't falling off the bone yet. He ain't finished cooking. Let him get a little bit more coaching experience first. Papa says, not gonna lie, Lo, I've been lurking, but I'm gonna comment for this one, dog. Let's go. Wait, you talking about let's go for the whole Bill Belichick thing, or just let's go for moving on from Raheem Morris, or both? Lim Nice says the World Congress Center is next to the Benz for those that don't know. Okay, and I apologize. Thank you so much, Lim Nice. So if you don't know, Mercedes-Benz Stadium is right here on Northside Drive. Right next to it, you got the Home Depot backyard. Then you got the World Congress Center. Only 2 entrances. You can't just slide in the World Congress Center inconspicuous. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm just not important enough. Maybe there's a place that you could go and slide in, And if you're a billionaire and you go in like, hey, what's up, Bill? I just came in here to holler at you. What you doing next year, kind of thing. So look, that might be a thing. Now, does it has Bill got fired? Is Bill still the head coach at North Carolina? Y'all let me know. Is Bill still, or did Bill get relieved of his duties? Let me look it up. Well, you know what? Somebody, the coaching staff, y'all look it up for me. Is Bill still the head coach at North Carolina, or did he get relieved of his duties? Yep, you right. You right. Blue Jacket. He was committed to USC. Him and Dooney, they were committed to you.
Oh, I was just going to check see if you needed some tea or something. And I heard you talk about the Sanders.
Uh,
You know they're off limits.
what?
Sanders are off limits. The whole family, down to the little grandson by Jacquees, king of
Wait a minute.
R&B.
Jacquees? Wait a minute. Jacquees got a
Young king
grandbaby
of
with.
R&B. Yeah, Jacquees had a baby with his daughter.
What?
Did you need something real quick?
Nah, I'm good, baby. I'm good. Thank you so much. Uh, wait a minute. Before you go, Coach Roy. Gee, I said it's a good coach. I'm sorry. I just got to say it. I'm sorry. I just got to say it. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Jermaine Simmons says Arthur Blank finally speaking up and getting things right. Long overdue. I didn't think he was going to do it. I didn't think he was going to do it. A1 Forever Sports says I'm good on Dion right now. Hey, I'm not. I'm not knocking you, Bo. I'm not knocking it. Sergeant says Ti's GM, 2 Chains as the head coach is done. You see that red flag behind it, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We good. We good. Um, he says, what are some of the younger guys like Jim Bob Cooter, Clint Kubiak, or Mike LaFleur? Now, Jim Bob Cooter, he's not that young, right? If I'm not mistaken, because I remember he was Peyton Manning's quarterbacks coach what, like 30 years ago. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's in his 50s. Which I mean, that's what used to be the average age of an NFL head coach. But let's see, how old is Jim Bob Cooter? And did anybody look to see if Bill Belichick is still the head coach at UNC right now? Jim Bob Cooter just 41 years old. He's just 41 years old, guys. So if y'all don't know Jim Bob Cooter, he's the OC for the Colts right now. He is the OC for the Colts, right? I didn't know he went to the University of Tennessee. Good old Rocky Top. Shouts out to my Tennessee folks, man. Shouts out to my homeboy, um, Coach Tim Banks that just went over to Auburn, DC, now at Auburn. Much love to my homeboy Tim Banks. Coached up our beloved James Pierce Jr. Gotta love it, man. DJ Lee says he's still at North. Okay, okay. Marvin says, Bill, come here. His girlfriend would have to be GM. See, come on, Marvin. Come on, man. You tripping. Deanna said, let him stay in North Carolina. What other team is talking about Bill but us? That's well, the whole thought was, excuse me. The whole thought was they said there was like 3 teams that still held Bill Belichick in high regard. So that's something that you got to consider. The chosen one, the chosen 1914 says, Big Low, where you been? You didn't know that Jacquees was Dion's oldest daughter's child's father? I think he proposed to it. Man, you know I don't keep up with that, Bo. Jacquees. I see. I can't remember what songs he sang. There she go, looking like my future baby mama. I just know that because Coach Ron, she loves some Jacquees for some reason. I like, why you like that boy with all the teeth in his mouth? He should be able to sing. LABSP says Uncle Steve called it. He says they were going to fire Raheem. Look, that's why Uncle Steve is that guy, man. Y'all make sure y'all check out Uncle Steve's lounge. Uncle Steve be on top of it like brown gravy, Bo. He be on top. J. Kid says we should bring in Malik Willis. I mean, look, at this point, there's so many options on the table. There's so many options on the table. But the thing is, Will Feature says, I'm running around Home Depot clothes list tomorrow, shouting, thank you, Arthur. Hey, you get naked, is you? Dun, dun, dun. That's a Superman chat. Good grief, that man got naked. Got naked for Arthur. But the thing is that now you got so many different options, because the fact of the matter is that you don't know which direction you're going to go. Jay Schoon says Kirk Cousins contract though, and that's the thing. Do you try to trade him now? I mean, it's looking like the Minnesota Vikings need a quarterback. JJ McCarthy got hurt again. I don't know if y'all seen the clip. JJ McCarthy got hurt, and then he was on there. He was on there talking about just apologizing to Justin Jefferson. Like, hey man, I'm sorry, bro. This is my fault. Justin Jefferson looking like, yeah, I mean, you need to tighten up now. I'm used to being talked about as one of the best wide receivers in the league. Now, come on, you get right or get left. Don't make me say I don't want to be here no more. Somebody need to call Kirk or something. I mean, do you make that trade to say, hey Vikings, you want Kirk Cousins? Y'all give us a fourth round pick and take this salary. Is that something that you do? Is that something seriously? Is that something that you do? Or um just like Jay Kia says, right, we saved 35 just letting Kirk go. I mean, that's look, that's something that you got to consider. Blue Jacket says, Big Low, can we please move on from Jake Matthews after next year? He's been paid like an all pro, but he's never been an all pro. Yeah, but man, I mean, look, let's be honest. This year has been tough on him, especially with the penalties and things like that. But one thing about Jake, he's going to be there. He has that most important ability, which is availability. Jake ain't missed the game. I mean, look at how the offenses look this year whenever Caleb McGarry has missed the season. Like Jake's always there. And I feel like if you had a better offensive coordinator and a more fluid offense, you could kind of take that next step. But one thing that you got to consider is that you are legitimately trying now, and Arthur Blank has shown that he's legitimately trying. He's shown it. Jermaine says 11 Alive and other ATL stations will go nuts in the sports department when they wake up. Oh, it's going to be, I can't, 92.9 the game? Oh, my God. As a matter of fact, Mike Bell, Carl Dukes, if y'all listening, y'all hit me up. I'm going to have to come on to talk with y'all tomorrow. We going to have to chop it up tomorrow. I got to get some things off my heart. We going to have to chop it up tomorrow, my friends. Randy, hit me up. Hit me up. State, you keep sending me those great restaurants and hit me up. We going to have to chop it up tomorrow. Shouts out to my homeboy Dylan Matthews out there at 929 the game doing it big. DD said Kirby Smart. Man, DD. Kirby Smart. And shouts out to you, Kirby, T-Rob, Coach Metcalf, Coach Shu, everybody out there at Georgia coaching staff. Bro, Kirby Smart is God in Athens. Kirby Smart ain't leaving Athens no time soon. Kirby Smart is God in Athens. That man ain't leaving. He what other job would Kirby take that would be equivalent to being the head coach at the University of Georgia? Nothing. Kirby is good. He's not going nowhere. Richie, baby. What's going on, Richie Rich? He says 929 the game is going to be popping the champagne. Oh, pop champagne. Y'all don't know about that. That's look, that's that early 2000s. Oh, pop champagne. Y'all don't know about that. Yeah, Jay. Kirby ain't never leave Athens. Jamil says, sorry I'm late, but it's up in the A. Let's go. You already know it, fam. You already know it. AJ Casito says, bring me Kubiak or Kevin O'Connell. Okay. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Coach Carey says, we really did it, fam. We found a way. We are so back. I can't believe it. Matt Ryan for McKay's job next. Dang, go, Carey. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Goodness, Carey. Carey says, Matt Ryan for me. I mean, look, that's something he very well could do. That's something he very well could do. Heath Herndon says 680 the fan eating crow. I mean, look, 680 the fan. One thing about them, whatever they say, they gonna stand on it. They gonna stand on it, and home to you, all them boys. If they wrong, they'll acknowledge that they wrong. About whatever says, thank God we fired both of them. Good grief, about whatever. Man, shoot, but I hope you ain't nobody's boss. I hope your boss ain't looking at you the same way. Like, yeah, we need to let about whatever go. That boy, he be tripping. Deontay says, much love from Panthers Nation. Thanks. Y'all are welcome. Y'all just need to acknowledge moving forward that we gave you your playoff berth. We gave the little brother their playoff berth. So, y'all just acknowledge that, and we'll be good. We lost 2 games to you. And then whenever y'all lost last night, we turned around and beat the Saints for y'all, so y'all could get in the playoffs. So yeah, you're welcome for your playoff berth. First in 8 years. Anytime we can help, little brother. Anytime we can help. Oh man. Hey, does everybody feel how the energy is different? Does everybody feel how everything has changed? Because I'm gonna tell you, the last four games, the last 2 or 3 games in the Benz, they have been the energy's been off, and I feel like it's because nobody liked the coach. Nobody liked the coach. Multiple times we've caught the coach in lies. Coach will tell us that somebody's not hurt when they hurt. They got broken collarbones, or they're going to end up being out for the season. Like coaches, coach ain't trustworthy. Coach gets smart with the media just because they're asking something that contradicts his thinking. They It's got to the point where we were coming to the games and we were just cheering for the players. We weren't cheering for the team because the coach was the coaches are part of the team. We're cheering for the players. And I'm glad that even though we finished 8-9 and won the last 4 or 5 games, we still did the right thing. I'm so glad that we did that. And moving forward, this shows that the Atlanta Falcons take winning seriously. Brandon Little, yes, JPJ he got 10 sacks this season. Larry says, so Lo, do you feel like Terry should have been fired? I don't. But sometimes you just got to start over. Sometimes you just kind of got to do what you got to do. Well, Fiji says, Pete Carroll, da da da. That's a Superman chat. I mean, what Pete Carroll doing in Vegas? They tried to do the whole Seattle thing in Vegas, and it didn't work. The stud getting the stud running back and turning around and trying to bring in a young defense and hope that they hit on some late picks and protect that quarterback with that stud running back. And you got like an all world tight end, but he just can't stay healthy. But it didn't work that first year. Um, so I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll, he's another one of those guys who, I mean, and the thing is, Pete Carroll, he's the complete opposite of your boy Bill Belichick. Like he's the complete opposite. He's more of a free forward thinker, but I just don't. I don't know if your boy Pete Carroll if he could do it. I just don't know. He may ran out of oil. That fire might not burn like it used to. Coach Carey says, LaFleur for head coach, gives a chance. Do we keep Ulbrich too? That's a possibility. And it's also a da da da. That's a Superman chat. And heck on. Coach Carey, she done brought the croissant, saying she brought the Superman chat. Shouts out to Carey, man. Clown says, we got 232 likes, coaching staff. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for the likes. I definitely appreciate that. Also, if you haven't hit the like button yet, make sure that you do hit it. Let's try to get to 250. Let's try to hit 250 before it's all said and done. If y'all could hit that like button for me, I promise you, I dance at your wedding one day. I mean, look, it's the off season now. I got time to go to as many weddings as I so please. So look, if you can hit that like button for me. Jermaine says, exactly, Big Low. If the Falcons are going to start winning again, they need to get the right people this time. Yes. And it doesn't need to be just because you knew somebody or just because this is your cornhole partner or your spades partner. Whenever y'all get together on the weekends, it has to be the right people for the job. You might not like them, right? They might be somebody who y'all might not see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, it's got to be somebody who's right for the job that's going to take this team to the next level. We've done the 7-10, 7-10. We've done the 8-9, 8-9. Now it's time to do the 12 and fives, right? It's time to do the 13 and fours. Like let's go ahead and take this thing to a whole nother level. Shouts out to my homeboy Eric Parker, EP. Great seeing you today, fam. And look, we definitely all got to get together sometime uh, before the draft because man, just shouts out to my Falcons family, man. Like we get together, we always have a good time whenever we link up. Shouts out to you, Eric. Eric says, Coach Carey for GM. Y'all want to do it? Coach Carey for GM? Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Shouts out to you, EP, man. Hope you're doing good, brother. Zulu Warrior with a Superman chat. He says, Bo, do you think Blank fired Ra after he finished passing out his game balls? Dang, oh, goodness gracious. Shouts out to you, Shaka. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. That is rough. Hey man, hey man, hey man. Everybody bring it up, man. Everybody bring it up. This is for the best player in the league, Bijan Robinson. Dang, God, that's rough. That is rough. Also, Webb Fiji says Pete Carroll and Crosby for Cousins and London and a 2027 second. I can't do that one. I got to keep Drake London. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Dang, gone. I gotta keep Drake. I gotta keep Drake. Gotta keep Drake. Dre says, nah, keep Jeff Ulbrich right where he's at. Though defensive coordinator, beloved, hello, you already know what time it is. Also, Kerry says, Eric, we had to catch up this week. Can't believe it. We really did it. Hey, hey, Raheem. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Raheem Morris really had to go. Dang, gone. Shouts out to Coach Ron with the hey, hey, ho, ho movement. She didn't even have the doors of the church open too long. Exactly. You're right. He didn't have a good game today. Yeah, nah, we ain't trading. We ain't trading your boy. We ain't trading Drake. 91 says could having Mac Jones as quarterback be a good option? He did pretty well for San Francisco when Purdy was hurt. Plus, he's a competitor and wants to win. I actually talked with a few Falcons fans about this. They were telling me that he's on a 2-year deal, so we would probably have to trade for him. And I think his salary was like around 15 million, if I'm not mistaken. Look, I like Mac Jones. A lot of people don't realize this, but I wanted us to draft him whenever we were at the point where we needed to draft a quarterback a few years ago. Um, but unfortunately, we went and got everyone's savior, Desmond Ritter. I love Desmond, in the words of Uncle Steve. So moving forward, maybe in the words of Little Wayne, I came back around. Maybe we could come back around and get old Mac Jones in here. And shoot, the He's young. He could compete with Michael Penix for that starting quarterback job for years to come. You know, that's definitely an option. Um, Grave Digger says Mac Jones said y'all smoking. MPJ is better. Let him get better coaching around him. Stop with the disrespect. Yeah, Grave Diggers. But the thing is that MPJ ain't healthy right now. We're gonna need somebody to come in if MPJ can't start the season, right? I mean, we can't put MPJ out there hurt. Even if we do think he's better, we still need. I'm trying to win. I need somebody to come in and play some ball in the meantime while MPJ is getting back on his feet. So, yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I also know Mac Jones. There was a game I watched earlier this year. Mac Jones completed like 15 passes in a row, and they weren't no long handoffs neither. Boy, it was dotting out there. Mac Jones, that dude. Like, don't people forget Mac Jones went to Pro Bowl his first year, his rookie year in the NFL. Y'all sleep on that man if y'all want to. Now, he's been pushing this whole Malik Willis narrative for a while. You know, he came to the game naked today. They had to escort him out. So, Yuri, stop getting naked for Malik Willis. Oh, man. Daggone. Well, look here, man. I ain't going to lie to you. This is great news. This is great news. At the end of the day, we did what needed to be done. I can legitimately say I'm proud of Arthur Blank for making this decision. He did what needed to be done, and he legit came in and the crazy thing, it shocked everybody. When Kerry called us, Kerry was like, "Hey y'all, we did it. We fired Raheem Morris." I like, Kerry, you lying? Don't lie to me, Kerry. Don't lie to me. Don't play with my feelings. But we did what we needed to do. LASVP. I don't know if he's leaving Green Bay or not. I know everybody. A lot of people said that there's something that LaFleur has, or it's something that both sides may be open to, but I don't know if that's the case or not. So we'll see. That's right. Victory Sunday. Gravedigger says Kirk Cousins as a backup is good. Um, just not for so much cat. Exactly. So I mean, we got a lot of holes that we do need to fill. We need another wide receiver. I'm gonna say a name that y'all might not be comfortable with. George Pickens. Bring me George Pickens. Let's go ahead and fix that wide receiver one, wide receiver two issue. Bring me George Pickens. If you have George Pickens and Drake London as your wide receivers, boy, that's filthy. That's filthy. If you had George Pickens and Drake London, you wouldn't need first of all, you wouldn't need copies. You just get an average tight end. You got Bijan Robinson coming out of the backfield. That is filthy. Filthy. But what I'm saying is that your best bet is to go ahead and move on from Kirk Cousins. Save that 35 mil. And these issues that you've been having, the wide receivers that Raheem Morris has ran off, because it's obvious that that was an issue now. Me and Coach Ronald was talking about that. At the end of the day, teams are going to value players more than they're going to value coaches. And the fact that your coach made you lose a coach and a player, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. Savannah says, look, Savannah Swag says, if LaFleur leaves, bring him on down here. Bring him back home. He says, let's go, George Pitt. Yes. Yes. Yes, I would definitely take him. Green says, yeah, you would definitely have 50-50 balls on lot with them too. Yes. 1,000 times, yes. Lamar says, Pickens is like Kyle Pitts, not consistent and effort issues. Well, all I know is that whenever George Pickens was the number one wide receiver, whenever your boy CD Lamb was out, he was eating. He was eating. I would definitely take him. Yuri says Pickens here will have us doing 2016 numbers on offense. Blue Jacket says no to George Pickens. So you're going to pay over 60 million for two wide receivers. Pickens is a head case. Sometimes you need a head case. Roddy White was a little bit of a head case too. Roddy White is a legend in the Atlanta Falcons uniform. Sometimes you need a little bit of a head case. That's what we were saying. It's like people saying James Pierce Jr. was a head case. What was I telling y'all the whole time? I've been telling y'all James Pierce Jr. He's a different cat, y'all. But does, does anybody in the chat remember me saying this? If you remember me saying this, put a one in the chat. I kept telling y'all all throughout the draft. Hey, people said James Pierce Jr. is a head case. He's just different. He's the type of guy that you need on your team. He's the type of guy that gets sacks. You call it a head case. I call it a guy who just knows what he wants, and he's just a little different. Y'all remember me saying that? If you do remember that, put a one in the chat. How did it end? It ended with James Pierce Jr. breaking the sack record for a rookie in the Atlanta Falcons uniform, having a promising future and being a threat off the edge for years to come. I'm just saying. The chosen one says, I'm comfortable with that, Big Low. Nando remembers me saying that. Chris remembers me saying that. Gravedigger says, y'all realize when we went to the Super Bowl, we had an elite wide receiver. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. We need the wide receivers. You got Devontae Freeman on steroids. You got Devontae Freeman on steroids. If you get you another good wide receiver, you pair him with Drake, you get you a legit offensive play caller, you got a young defense that's going to shake things up. They're going to get turnovers. You get you a number two cornerback because Mike Hughes can't stay healthy. You are good to go. Savannah, they remember me saying it. Dre, they remember me saying it. Tremaine, ETV, clowns. I kept telling y'all, James Pierce Jr., that's the type of guy that you need. Everybody talk about George Pickens being the head case. The, newsflash, a lot of wide receivers are head cases. Some of the best wide receivers in history are head cases. We seen Michael Irvin on all fours, sweating profusely on the Miami Hurricane sidelines. We seen Terrell Owens just doing sit-ups in the driveway because he left because somebody said his breath stank. I don't know why he left practice, but wide receivers are head cases. The best ones are head cases. Randy Moss literally mooned the whole Green Bay Packers fan base. Wide receivers are head cases. Savannah says, you call him a head case, I call him a ball. Exactly. I call him a baller. I call him a baller. Do what you do, young man. Do what you do. Yeah, that's right, Fat. We have our ends of the future. And the thing is that we're going to end up having our culture of the future. Hopefully, this time we make the right decision and do what we need to do. If we do what we need to do, we good to go. Because we got the team. Do you know how many people? Do you know how many times people come in here? People come to the men's from away teams and they say, "Hey, y'all have one of the most talented teams in the league. Y'all should be better than what you are." Especially these last two seasons. Multiple people say that. They say, y'all have one of the most talented teams in the league. Y'all should be better than what you are. It is what it is. It is what it is. So now we need to just put it all together. We need to just put it all together. Look here, man. I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all for chilling out with us as we get this breaking news. Um, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. We, bro, this news that we had tonight, moving on from Raheem Morris not being the head coach anymore, this is one of them situations where it just made all season a whole lot more interesting. Whole lot more interesting. And y'all know that we here for it. It literally brought life to the fan base. Look, a lot of y'all, shouts out to a lot of y'all that are watching. But a lot of y'all that are watching, um, y'all ain't had a chance to y'all ain't been here in a while because it's been kind of stagnant. But you're here now because we actually making moves to take the steps moving forward. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming on. Thank y'all so much for coming and joining us on this journey this season for the 2025 season. I appreciate each and every one of y'all's comments, your likes, your super chats, the messages that you send. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's like I told my homeboy Daryl Brownlee earlier today. It's like, look, I could not do these shows without y'all. Y'all run the show. I'm just kind of the catalyst that keeps everything moving. But y'all are the ones that run the show. So shouts out to the coaching staff for sticking it out with me for a whole nother season. We're gonna continue to have a good time. Um, And moving forward, we're going to have a lot of good content coming y'all way, fam. If you haven't hit that like button yet, make sure that you do hit that like button. Clown said that we did it. We did get the 250 likes. Shouts out to y'all, bro. Y'all, man, y'all just on top of it like brown gravy. That's what I'm talking about. Shouts out to you clowns for keeping up with that for us once again, family. Look at here. Y'all stay safe. We got our Black Monday a little bit early. And now it's time to go into the coaching search, bro. It's time for it's off season time now. This is when we really have fun. Y'all take it easy, bro. Rise up. A-time down. What in the world, bro? Raheem Morris is gone. He's out of there. Hey, ho, ho. Raheem Morris has got to go. What in the world, bro?